Hello everyone, this is Marika and today we are going to discuss about social attitude. So in our previous session we have seen what social motivation is. Today we are going to see about social attitude. Attitude is also a very familiar term for all of us. We keep hearing the word attitude. What does the term attitude means? Attitude is a state of consciousness within an individual human being. It is a state of consciousness that is seen or that is found within an individual, or we can also say that attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about a particular thing. It is also a settled way of thinking about something or feeling about something. It is a way we think about a certain thing or we feel about a certain thing. It is a settled way. It is our state of consciousness. We know what attitude is. It is our state of consciousness. It is different from one individual to another individual. What is social attitude? Social attitude, it refers to how a certain group of people or individual from that particular group of people perceive other objects, other situation, other people and other phenomena. So social behavior is what? It is the way a group of people or individual from that particular group of society, how do they perceive other phenomena or other people, other object, the way they perceive other things around them outside of their society is called as social attitude. For example, we all know that if there's a person suffering from HIV and AIDS, there is a stigma related to that person. People will judge that person. People do not want to mingle with that person. That person is actually isolated from the group of people he or she is living with. What does it say? In this example, we understand that those people have negative attitude towards a person suffering from HIV and AIDS. That is having a negative social attitude towards a person who's suffering from a certain illness, towards a person who's suffering from HIV and AIDS. As I'm saying, social attitude. How is social attitude developed, or what are the factors that influence the social attitude? Social attitude is influenced by various factors. There are various factors that affects the social attitude of an individual, such as behavior of other individual, ethnicity, culture, and their social customs. All these things plays a major role in influencing the attitude of a person. Lawrence K. Frank, a psychologist, said that a development of an attitude of a person, it begins in the early childhood. It begins from the early childhood of a person and it continues to undergo changes and development throughout our life. It starts developing from the childhood and it continuously changes as we grow up. Isn't it? We know that. It continuously changes as we grow up and it keeps on developing. Our social attitude also guides or it also governs our psychosocial behavior and health-related behavior of a particular individual. Social attitude, it also governs our psychosocial behavior and health-related behavior of a particular individual. So let us now see what are the features of social attitude. According to Sheriff, the features of attitude are, the first one is, attitudes are not innate. I've been saying attitude are not inborn in a person. It undergoes changes, as I've said previously, it undergoes changes and it develops throughout our life. It starts right from the childhood and it keeps on developing and changing throughout our life. It means attitude is not something that a person is born with. It develops within a person after the person is born. Attitude is not innate. That is the first feature. Next, as I said, attitude are learned by an individual and formed by the individual when they grow up in a group. It is not that attitude is inborn in a person. The person is born from the childhood. The child starts to develop a particular kind of attitude. The child starts growing up in a group. The child starts to develop a certain kind of attitude. Attitude are learned and formed by the person as they grow up in a group. The third feature says that attitude are subjective. What is the meaning of subjective here? It means every individual has different attitude. It is different. What kind of attitude I have towards a particular thing or a particular person is different from what kind of attitude my friend has towards the same thing. It is subjective. It is different from one particular individual to another individual. I might like one person, but my friend might not like the same person. Attitude towards certain object or certain people, it differs from one individual to another individual. Attitude is not immutable. Attitude in a person changes. It is not something that cannot be changed. Next feature says that attitude is always formed in relation to a certain person, groups or institutions. It says that when you form an attitude, when a person forms an attitude, it is always related to a certain person or a certain group or a certain institution. The next feature is attitude involves an individual as well as a group. So an individual may develop an attitude of hostility towards another individual or may look upon the whole group to which that particular individual belongs to. An individual may develop a feeling of hostility towards one particular individual or may look upon the whole group to which the other individual belongs as hateful. As I said, attitude involves an individual as well as a group. So here it says that I may have a negative attitude or a positive attitude towards certain thing. It may only involve my attitude towards that particular individual, may only involve that individual, or it may also involve the group to which that particular individual belongs to. So for example, there is a particular person that I don't like. So this person is someone whom I don't like as an individual. I might not just like the person, I might just hate that particular person, or this particular individual belongs to a certain group. I might hate that entire group because of one particular individual that I dislike from that group. There are two ways. It may involve one particular individual or it may involve the entire group. So here I may only hate that individual. I may only have a negative feeling towards that individual, or I may have a hateful feeling towards the entire group to which this particular individual belongs. But unlike other learned items, attitude is one such learned item which is goal directed, either in a positive way or a negative way. There are various things that we learn, but attitude is always goal directed. This goal can be a positive goal or a negative goal. Now let us see the concept of social attitude. We all know that the world is divided into various different regions. It may be on the basis of the climate, it may be the lifestyle that we have in different places, and the kind of environment one particular place has. There is difference between everything from one place to another. All these factors impact the life of the people who are staying in a particular place. As the living condition differs, the climate differs, the lifestyle differs, the food that we eat differs, the environment that we grow up in is different from one place to another. We all have experienced that, we all have seen that. As the life experiences are different in different regions of the world or different regions even within a country, each group of these people in a particular society or in a particular region have different and unique lifestyle. As the living condition differs everywhere, the living experience or the life experience of an individual also is unique and peculiar according to the regions they live in. So these life experiences of an individual, like whatever we have learned from our society or what kind of food we are eating, what kind of climate we are subjected to, all this different kind of life experiences are the core component of our attitude, of our development of attitude and behavior. And we all know that human beings are social beings. All this plays a major factor in developing a social attitude. Since humans are social beings, since I've been saying this, human beings have to stay within a social boundary. We have social boundaries. We have to stay within that boundaries. We know what is permitted by our society, what is not permitted in our society. So there is a boundary for each and every member within a society. So human being a social animal, we have to live within those social boundaries. We are a part of a society, and being a part of our society requires us to follow those norms. We have to understand that an individual's attitude is a mixture of his own individuality and societal force as well. Because we live in a society, we have certain norms and boundaries, or we have certain things that must be looked after. Every individual has developed a certain attitude. Now, this attitude is not just his or her own individuality, but it is a mixture of their own individuality plus the societal force, the kind of society that they live in. Now, let us see the formation of social attitudes. Attitudes are formed in context of individuals' wants, information, and group affiliation. This says that attitude of a person is formed in context of various things. That is the individual's wants. That means what a particular individual wants. The second one is the information that a particular person or an individual has about a certain thing. And the third one is group affiliation. Now, what is group affiliations? Group affiliation is a desire of an individual to maintain or to have a relation with other individual. To be able to form human relation within a group is group affiliation. It says that for our attitude to be formed, there are three things that plays a major role. First is the want of an individual, the information that a particular individual has, and the group affiliations, the group that the particular person belongs to. As I said, the first one is the individual's want. What a particular individual wants to achieve, or what a particular individual wants. If there is an individual, when an individual wants a particular thing and is trying to satisfy that wants. So when the individual is trying to satisfy his wants, the individual develops a favorable attitude towards those people or towards those objects that comes in favor of him, which helps him in satisfying his wants. For example, I am a person, I have a certain want, I want something. So those people who help me to achieve what I want, or those objects that help me to achieve what I want, I will develop a favorable attitude or a positive attitude towards that particular person or towards that group of people. That is developing a positive attitude. Because I want something, I am going to satisfy that particular thing. I am going to achieve that particular thing. While in the process, while I'm trying to achieve that, I meet certain people that may agree or help me through the process, and I may also meet people who will not be agreeing or who will not be helping me to satisfy my wants. Those group of people or those individuals or those objects that are helping me to satisfy my wants, I will develop a positive attitude or a favorable attitude towards those group of people or towards those individuals and objects that help me satisfy my wants. Next, I will develop obviously a negative or unfavorable attitude towards those groups or towards those objects which will come in between or which becomes a barrier to achieve my wants. As I said, there can be two different types of people. One group of people that supports me and helps me to satisfy my wants, or those people who becomes a barrier in achieving my wants. Towards the people who helped me in achieving those goals or satisfying my wants, I develop a positive attitude. Or towards those people who blocked my way towards satisfying my wants, I'll develop a negative attitude. First one, as I said, the formation of attitude depends on the wants of an individual, what an individual wants. There is something that I want. First one is wants. I have a certain want. I want to satisfy what I want to achieve what I want. And in the process, I may encounter two different types of people. Towards people who help me, I develop a positive attitude. Towards those who do not help me, I develop a negative attitude. So this is how wants, individuals' wants affect the formation of attitude. Secondly, attitude are influenced or attitudes are shaped by information to which the individual is exposed. So obviously, we develop a certain kind of attitude by getting information from certain people. For example, even if I have never met a particular person, Mr. X, I have never met this particular person, but my friend knows this person. So my friend will be telling me that that particular person is a bad person. My friend tells me that this particular individual is not a good person. So by the information that comes to me, even though I do not know that person properly, even though I am not familiar with that person, I develop a certain kind of negative attitude towards that person because of the information I am exposed to. Similarly, like that, information plays a major role in formation of attitude. As we are talking about attitude development in a child, who plays a major role in the development of attitude of a child? It is the parents. So the parents are the source of information, isn't it? To all the children, parents are the source of information to the child. The child gets all the information from the parents. What kind of information is given to the child? It plays a major role in shaping the attitude of the child. Usually, parents give information to a child regarding religion or the culture that they follow, the tradition that they follow, the kind of behavior that a child should develop, the rules or the conduct, the kind of conduct that a child should develop, the way a person should live in a society. So all these things, all this information are taught or given by a parent to the child. Being exposed to a certain kind of information also plays a major role in shaping our attitude. So the main source of attitude for a child to develop certain kind of attitude is from their home or from their parents. Next one, we have group affiliation. So as I've already said, what is group affiliation? So group affiliation is a desire of an individual to be inculcated in the group, to have a relationship with other individuals within a group. To be a part of group is group affiliation. So group affiliation also plays a major role in shaping our attitude. Obviously, the kind of group we are in, the kind of, as I've been saying, the information that we get plays a major role. So we get information from the group we are in. It could be our friends, or it could be our family members, it could be members from our community, or it could be members from our society. When we are in a group, when there's group affiliation is also one of the major factor in the formation of social attitude of a particular person. In group affiliation, mostly it is the peer group. The peer group is the very important source of attitude formation. As I've already said in the example, the kind of attitude we develop because of our friend said to us. So as I've already said, the friend circle that we are in plays a major role in shaping our attitude. We all know that. Our friend also help us to have a certain kind of attitude, to develop a certain kind of attitude. Sometimes when we even do not know the person, because our good friends or close friends tell something bad about them or tell something good about them, we develop similar kind of attitude towards that person, even without seeing them or even without knowing those people. That is because we are influenced by the information and we are influenced by the group we are in. That is group affiliation. Not just friend, the group could be within our family, within our community, or within our society. So these are the three major factors that helps or that affects the social attitude of an individual. To conclude, today we have seen what is attitude, what is social attitude. Social attitude is how people from a certain group or how an individual of that particular group perceive other things, other object, other people, or certain situation. That is social behavior. We've also seen development of social attitude, what are the features of social attitude, what is the concept of social attitude, and how social attitude is formed, what are the factors that influence the formation of social attitude. I hope the class was helpful. I'll see you all in the next session. Thank you.